How is it going, everyone? We've got some big Where Winds Meet updates to go over in this video, as there is an interview with the lead designer of the game on radiotimes.com. We'll highlight some of the key information as a part of that. There is the preview stream, the launch preview stream that'll be happening later today, and I'll be watching it and I'll go over some of the updates coming out of that as well later, but that will be live today, 5 p.m. Eastern time, so I want to mention that quickly. But again, Radio Times, Where Winds Meet lead designer on bringing a truly immersive wuxia experience to the West. They spoke to Where Winds Meet's lead designer in Chris Liu, talking about some of the aspects of the game. There's a fair amount of debate online as to whether Where Winds Meet is an MMO or not. What would you say it is? Liu responded with this: Where Winds Meet is an open-world wuxia RPG. Our vision when making the game was to create a truly immersive wuxia experience where players can live out their unique martial arts fantasy in the world of Where Winds Meet. Limiting the game to either only single player or only multiplayer would make the game feel incomplete. That's why we offer two distinct modes, single player and multiplayer, that operate independently of each other and can be switch between freely. I think for a lot of you guys that are more like me, we're about more so a solo experience. I'll dabble in multiplayer and multiplayer games every now and again, but the solo experience is such a big deal to me. The fact is, this is a game that if you read the tea leaves and you look through all of the information and a lot of the promotional material, they reiterate over and over again about the solo experience of the game. I think that is a big aspect to the game. What is one of the key promotional pushes for this game? The single player experience has over 150 hours of content, and I wouldn't get obsessed with the 150 hours of content, but the fact that the single player is being utilized and that single player component of this game is one of the big pushes of the promotional material of this game. I think that's going to be a big part of the game, and if you're more like me and you kind of want to just take in the scenery, take in the visuals, because let's be honest, it's one of the most compelling parts about this game. It's the world. I kind of want to just be left into my own devices when I play this game, and I think they're really going to be offering you that, so I love that. In single player mode, it was noted Where Winds Meet is essentially a fully fledged solo game, which, let's talk about that for a second. The idea of having a content-filled solo game in a free-to-play market, that's a little bit different than what we typically get, so it will be interesting to see, how much can we get out of this game for free, what the monetization is going to be. But I think if you treat the player with respect, ultimately, that's going to come in on the back end. We do know that it's going to have a seasonal model to it, but I think you could do a solo experience with a seasonal model as well. I don't think that's the end of the world. I think that is something that's very doable, but we'll see how all that turns out. Where players can immerse themselves in an extensive story-driven content. In multiplayer mode, players can collaborate, compete, and explore the vast open world together. So you're gonna have this story-driven content in that solo experience, and then multiplayer, it seems to be offering its own distinct style of play and how that comes together. And hopefully the solo experience alone, for those of you that just want it to be the solo game and play it solo, you'll have a compelling, complete experience. But guess what? It's free, so you don't even have to invest any money for you to take advantage of the solo experience. Where Winds Meet has been out in China for 10 months already. How has the reception been among Chinese players so far? Since releasing in China, Where Winds Meet has been warmly received by players. With this title, we aim to creatively reinterpret the classic wuxia genre, a deeply traditional theme in Chinese culture, and we're truly grateful that our creative vision resonated strongly within our community. That kind of connection is what excites and honors us the most as developers. For instance, players have embraced our approach that a wuxia hero isn't always a martial arts master. Sometimes it's an ordinary person without any special fighting skills. Many describe the experience as deeply immersive, going so far as to say that when it comes to wuxia games, Where Winds Meet is truly authentic. The storytelling, art, music, and the vivid living world all come together to form what our players have called their ideal wuxia universe. Are there any differences between creating a game for a Chinese audience versus a Western audience? The global release of Where Winds Meet will retain the same core content as the Chinese version. Our goal is to present international players with a world rooted in Eastern culture that feels both fresh and engaging. While we believe certain themes are universally relatable and some players may find moments of familiarity, what we strive to offer above all is a sense of novelty and discovery. Our focus remains on delivering high-quality content that genuinely resonates with players. For example, movement skills like Qigong and the Tai Chi inspired combat mechanics are designed to provide players with interactive response and fun experiences, creating moments of surprise and delight. That said, we have adapted certain culture-specific references to ensure that they are accessible to players across regions. For instance, the traditional Chinese time unit has been reinterpreted using the more widely recognizable zodiac animals for international audience. We also designed region-specific events and content to be more familiar to players in different parts of the world. Stephen Tung was reportedly brought on to work on the game's choreography. How was it to work with such a legendary name in the martial arts cinema? In order to create that romantic and genuine Jiang Hu, we have invited Stephen Tung Wide, the renowned Hong Kong, China-based martial arts choreographer and film director, to design the actions in the game with the consideration of martial arts. During the research and development stage, he participated in the movesets and combat performance designs such as weapons like Moblade, spears, fans, umbrellas, rope darts, and we covered it before. They put a lot of emphasis on the umbrellas, and that seems to be shining through in terms of, if you look through the PS blog, and the emphasis they put on the weapons, but the umbrella in particular, so much style and finesse, so to speak, on that, and you totally get that, romantic vibe of the game that they're going for. Different from the exaggerated moves commonly seen in traditional wuxia games, the moves designed for Where Winds Meet will place more emphasis on the authenticity and rationality of their actions. Starting with film-level motion capture, all the martial arts scenes are real. All the combat actions of Where Winds Meet are the result of repeated trials and tempering by professional martial arts actors and the wire work team under the guidance of Stephen Tung Wei. At the same time, in order to simulate the real sense of action feedback, all the martial arts actions are completed through on-site simulated battles as well. Even for single-person actions, at least 2 martial arts actors are required to carry out the antagonistic interpretation. Fortunately, under the guidance, we have combined Where Winds Meet with action movies and completed an unprecedented attempt at the cinematization of wuxia games. One of the feelings of cooperating with Stephen is the happiness of finding professional people to do professional things. Last question that was asked, Black Myth Wukong set a new standard for Chinese games in the West. Has that opened up any new opportunities for developers like Everstone Studios? Does it add any pressure? We are very glad that more excellent Chinese games are loved by global players. We hope that Where Winds Meet can become one of them and be loved and recognized by players all over the world. Games are known as the ninth art. We believe that a good game is a bridge that can connect players from different countries and regions with different cultures and growth backgrounds. Developers from all over the world also keep up frequent communication, learning, and inspiration simulation together. For example, Where Winds Meet has participated in the Gamescom, the Tokyo Game Show, and the Brazil Game Show for many times, and has conducted exchanges with local excellent game developers and journalists in the games industry. In the games of art and passion, it collides with the diverse and brilliant creativity of everyone. The element of Black Myth Wukong and how that game was received, it's cool in the sense that that game was received so incredibly well that that setting resonated with players. I also think that game is at such a high level, and while there is this hope that Where Winds Meet is going to turn out really well and it's going to be received well over here stateside as well, Black Myth Wukong being the standard, I gotta imagine that gives you a level of pressure that, I don't know, I personally wouldn't want that level of pressure, especially because Black Myth Wukong was a AAA $60 game with that single-player focus. It's only a single-player game. This is a free-to-play game, and ultimately, it is still looking to make money, and hopefully, if the game is good, it will make money. But I also think it's a different style, but I think that aesthetic, that style, that ambiance, that is something that can really resonate with people. And this game certainly has its own flair, its own presentation, and its own aesthetics to it. But as far as setting it goes, Black Myth Wukong from a Chinese game standpoint and the Chinese settings, that is always going to be the game that a lot of people look at. It's just from the standpoint of having that pressure, I think that's a really, really high bar to clear. But hey, that's a good thing as well. Now that that standard has been established, you do have something to strive for, and even if Where Winds Meet doesn't meet that level, it's a different style of game as well. Even if it doesn't meet that level, having more games that you can look at and be like, hey, these games in these settings coming out of these areas, they are doing very well, and hopefully that just opens up the game development possibilities across the board and more investment into game development across the board as well. So there you go with that. That's all of the information from Radio Times. Link in the description box below for all of that, and give that a look for yourself. They've got some great coverage over there. This is a game that is building up some buzz, and the funniest thing with this game is that there is a level of skepticism, and the skepticism criticism is there like a week before the game comes out, and the game exists over in China and has been fairly well received there. Now, maybe they'll have a different reception over there based on the style of this of the game that this is versus how it's going to be received in the West, but this is a real game, and more than anything, I'm really curious on how that single-player experience resonates with people, because how often do you really see that? A free-to-play game that looks to be a big-budget title that has a focus on the single player experience, and based on the fact that they're using that as a promotional vehicle every time out when you look into this game, I do think that's going to be a big factor. I also think we're going to get a lot more clarity out of this game very, very soon. They will have the Where Winds Meet a pre-launch preview stream, the global launch preview stream, I should say. That will be happening later today, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Your local time is going to vary 2 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to get a lot more information about the game. That's about to kick off in just a couple of hours, so we'll highlight all of that, and they are doing some giveaways tied to that as well. The Winster once more. Catch new content, hidden surprise, and a glimpse of what awaits you at global launch, and they are doing the day off fund as well. So a lot of excitement around the game. It is available for free, and remember, on the PlayStation Store, there is a buyable $14.99 pack that you can get that will allow you to preload the game on November the 12th, and you can play the game on November the 14th with the game preloaded. However, the game will be totally free to play. Once the game officially drops, downloads will be opening up to everyone. I guess they do this to incentivize people buying the game, and they can preload it and jump on a little bit early. Hopefully the connection and the internet and everything the network servers, I should say, don't get completely blown up, and everybody can get in that's pre-ordering the game. And you do get some in-game items, and that's really what you're paying for. You're getting some cosmetics, in-game currency, things of that nature. $15 on that and you'll get the preload. Otherwise, the game is free for everyone when it does come out, and you'll be able to download it. The game will also be PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced, so it'll look really good on there. The game, from a technical standpoint, for a free-to-play game with a solo focus, it's incredibly impressive on that end. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.